is a relatively informal event. There's no real structure in here. Everyone's just encouraged to ask questions in local, and I think one of our CSRs is going to try to monitoring our Meeroos group so people can ask questions in there and relay them to me, and I'll try to answer them. Quick introduction. Moxie is one of our pillars of our team here, providing a lot of artistic help with along with Chimeric, who is our lead artist. She's late right now, I guess, trying to get in SL. I'm Tiger. If you don't know me by now, I'm the lead developer / scripter / website / database / all that technical mumbo jumbo that makes the little Meeroos work. So, Mox, you want to say anything before we get started?
Nope, go ahead.
Well, everybody, news about nocturnals. I'm sure that's probably the #1 question in everybody's minds. We're, heavy in development. It's no secret we're a little bit farther behind than what we'd planned on. It's not, the nocturnals is not just, really an expansion. It's like a whole nother breedable, but separate yet sort of, interdependent, plus can, breed with your existing Meeroos, plus there's going to be, what people are calling hybrids, where there's going to be special things that happen when you breed your existing diurnals together with the nocturnals. And so then there's going to be some even different special things that you'll only see with that approach. So there just ended up being way more art assets because, there's like 1 million more sculpts now, plus we'll have to go back and redo all the existing coats for all the existing species and costumes and stuff to handle new traits that will come around. And so, yeah, we're trying hard to make sure that it's worth the wait, because I know it's been a while.
As I explained to people over the last 4 days, is a lot of times, we can't always tell people what's holding us up, because, that's going to spoil the surprises on what's coming. So there has been a little bit of lack of communication, but it's due to the fact that there is a lot coming, and we just can't explain it all in detail.
So we're, we have our head around it all pretty much now, and so we're, hopefully it won't be years. So what you can expect, though, when we get things ready and we start our internal testing, is when we'll announce that we're taking pre-orders. And that's when you guys can get excited, and you'll know it'll be down to weeks at that point. So we're not going to say anything till we're, scripts are done. There'll be another. Well, I just had some serious feedback. I'm not sure. Some open mic or something picking me up. So I'll just mute my voice and voice here voice questions. But I can keep talking. So that's
Oops, sorry, Tig. Yeah, I keep on hearing an echo too.
Okay, is this better?
As far as the diurnal coats, there is a ton not discovered in your tome, but there is more coming.
So it's looking at this point there will be one last script update before nocturnals come out, and you should so again, when you hear about the script update, then you can be more excited about the nocturnals being imminent. The Azure Rue, that one's actually a legendary. Of course, the next question, what's a legendary? Legendaries, of course, they will be breedable. All Meeroos of every form will be breedable. That's kind of the point, right? I'm not sure we're saying exactly yet.
Well, the legendary is more of the ambassador, the warriors, the ones that are kind of the I guess you guys, a lot of you know them as in the lore as the ancients.
Yes, you'll be able to breed legendaries and pass legendary traits. Mm-hmm. Yes, the wings are what's called a legendary trait. So any Meeroo bearing wings or the head adornments would be classified as a legendary. So we are still working out the lore around the legendaries. We know the basic ideas, like Moxie said, that they are the warrior Meeroos.
And they were referred to as the ancients, and they are the honored ones. That's kind of already a little bit of a sneak peek, kind of in there. But more of that's all coming out.
So you have to breed to be able to get the wings and the head adornments?
Yep, of course.
Play a part as far as what, like the breeding of the legendaries? No.
Okay, I know I'm kind of dense, but I just really didn't understand all that.
No, there is not a flying pig Meeroo.
I'm not sure we're spilling the beans on that little guy yet. Are we, Max?
Yeah,
I'm not sure what.
No, but there is a little bit. He has been written into the lore in the past. You'll just have to go back and try and find the little bits.
There was a sneaky little reference.
Yes.
But it is not obvious, though, what it is. At least.
Well, I know there's a lot of. I don't want to say too much because there is a lot of groups out there. I know I was talking to a few of you this week that meet weekly and go over things like that. So I'd hate to have this be a spoiler because you'll get little bits through the Meeroos lures that's the legend that's been dropping around the sim, and more of that's going to be coming out. I think every couple days we've been putting a little bits by little bits. I think page 2 and I think tomorrow page 3 is coming out.
Those guys will be I'll say a fun little diversion, but they're not intrinsic to the Nocturnal story, so we're really not focusing on them because we know everybody is dying to have Nocturnals. So, same with these avatars that Moxie and I are wearing. Everyone's been asking about. These are just some experimental prototypes. So we plan on coming out with some real avatars like this, but don't expect those until after Nocturnals. I'm not sure exactly the timing, because we haven't started the official internal test yet on Nocturnals, and so when we get closer to that, we'll just have to see if we'll be doing the script update like before pre-orders at the same time, or which one comes first. I can't say yet. We're going to have an internal beta test. It's not going to be a grid-wide test like we did with the original launch. Everybody wants to be back in beta again, huh?
I don't know how to answer that one because I don't know what
You don't remember how painful that was?
And is. I don't know all these breeders' terms.
They're acronyms. Well, I'm not sure we can say exactly what all is going to pass from here to there. That's part of what you guys are going to have to figure out once you get your paws on
yeah,
them.
we can't. That's a spoiler.
Right. The how we'll be releasing, we've said before, it comes up again though, so I'll re-answer that there will be new starter packs, and so pretty much just like we did the initial launch, there'll be a pre-order where you can pre-order like a family pack where you get a home and so much food and so many starter nests. I don't remember the exact numbers we did before. But it'll probably be the same amount of things and the same price. Jim and Moxie are working up a special prize that'll be in there if you do pre-order.
Yeah.
And I think you guys will
like
it. I think it's definitely. I think it'll be way more exciting than the gift that came with the original ones.
Right, and I think we plan on doing a special home in there as well.
Oh, you in a special home?
Yep.
That'd be cool.
I love the necklace too. That was great. Jimmy did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can always tell the die-hard Roof fans when you see somebody still wearing that necklace.
I know a couple more questions that were asked through the week was, will all the new nocturnal homes work, and vice versa, and that it is correct. Everything is going to be pretty much interchangeable. Well, as far as the food, I mean, we did talk about that, it's already been out there about the floor fruit.
Yes, there's a new food for the nocturnal. What else do we have? The new HUD. We have
not all will eat fluorophore. But at this time, that is the only food that we're introducing.
There is a new HUD. Although it doesn't really make sense to send out the HUD update right now because you guys won't be able to use it yet. It's an update to your existing HUD, and there will be just one HUD that you use for all your Meeroos, and there's a button on it where you can convert the HUD.
Right here.
There's a little mock-up back there. Well, it's not actually mock-up, it's the real HUD. And so there's a little button on there you'll be able to click and turn the HUD back and forth. So there are some game changes, nothing real earth-shattering. I'm getting feedback from somebody again.
Yeah, and Shim's here, but I can't get her in here.
I'm not trying to go crazy, trying to add a whole bunch of new things at this point, because again, I know everybody is anxious to get the nocturnals out. So we'll add the core changes and differences in there that we planned on. Some of the things will be rolling out later on, though, after the initial nocturnal release. They will gain regard the same way. Yeah, there hasn't been anything new on the grid in a while. But some of the, we're getting into rare coats and species now, so it's kind of, that's up to you guys. Obviously people aren't breeding out as many roos as say they were 6 months ago, so that slows the introduction of new traits onto the grid. So I do worry that there's a bug, and I go back and double check my code and everything, and everything seems like it's fine. So we're just kind of somebody out there's got to put some rare genes together and pop something out for us.
I don't know, do we want to touch base on the nocturnal personalities?
I think it's safe to say that they will be different.
Of course we do. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have a bunch of stuff
to discover, though.
That says undiscovered in your team, don't you? We used to not. We used to keep things hidden from the team until the first one was discovered on the grid, and so we wouldn't, even though we knew and we launched how many species there were and stuff, right? We'd wait until we heard somebody in group or somebody's picture show up floating around. Oh, so and so, birthed the first one of this species, and so then we'd go in and turn that on in the tomb so everyone could, and everyone else that didn't have it went undiscovered. But people didn't realize that when we did have more content and stuff added, because they only saw it when it was being discovered. So we decided that it was better if we put all the species and coats out there, and they're just undiscovered for everybody and then so of course you have to unlock them, so you can see that you still have more things to keep reading and trying to find. So I think that works out better. question about discovering new if you have the majority of things discovered? No. It's going to be mostly about your breeding techniques. The diurnals getting new traits, it depends on what you consider a trait and stuff like that. And you know, different traits are harder than others for us to implement and add more of. So there's sort of a balance there, and so we try to keep it so that there's more traits out there to discover. When so you know, like if you guys find all the species and they've all been discovered, we're going to, you know, generate new species and get those added in. So some of that, and that's part of what the hybrids are about, is going to be adding new traits that will be possible to get on your existing diurnal roos. Someone asked about the generation. I do believe the generation is a modifier in there in the genetic code. The same way, along with the regard, it really is factored in there. Now, it's not, you know, a huge amount. You know, it's not one of those things you get once you hit level 25. You're just going to pop out rare traits all day long. It's just, you know, a little nudge to give you an advantage, sort of thing. It's kind of like, an example I use is like telling people, you know, if you play World of Warcraft, you know, if you've got, you know, if you've got quest gear and you've got raid gear, obviously your raid gear is better. But if you really break down the numbers and look at it, raid gear is only a small percentage better than than normal non-raid gear. So that's what regard is about, eking out that last percent, you know, to get a little bit of an edge over your fellow breeders. Yes, there was. I made a bunch of posts back in like January, I think, about the level rescaling and changing caps and all that, and that's actually like sort of, I've already done that, and it's just kind of all waiting in the wings. I can just flip a switch and turn that on when we're ready. We just wanted to wait, and again, one of those things until we're closer to the release of the nocturnals to do that. It's you know, it's one of those things. Anytime we change like the gameplay and stuff like that, I worry that it's going to affect the secondary market, and so I'm hesitant to do anything without a really good reason, just for the purpose of doing it. So it's there and going to.
Well, the retired ones, we had asked that question, and you know, we kind of brought that idea to you guys as the community, and there was a lot of people upset about that, so we held off on that, the retiring of the coats. Yeah, we definitely could revisit the idea and talk about it. But I know that when we started bringing that out to the community, you know, there's a lot of people upset about it.
So it's also you know, things change over time, and you know, there are a lot more coats than there were before when we originally talked about it. So yes, and it also does depend on how we retire them. Well, I again, that's one of those things, if you guys have strong opinions on retiring, either for or against, let us know in our forums, and start up a thread there, and everyone we'll all talk about the pros and cons.
Yeah, definitely, because I always thought it would be a good idea for all of you guys in the secondary market. A knock version of the Dryads. That's definitely a question for Jimmy.
Yeah, Justin, I realize what you're saying about the new coats pop out in such quantities. The thing you have to remember there is not all traits are equal in rarity, and that's what sort of confuses people. And so not everything is meant to be, this is super rare, hard to get, and then people don't understand that, and then that gets reflected in the market. I'm not sure of the fate of the Weemi at this point. It would be one of those things that after Nocturnals we'll revisit. The Singing Stone puzzle, we've talked about that a few times, and
yeah, it's actually in production right now, but it's going to be a lengthier version, much more intricate. I know you guys you guys finished it. I think the first person finished the last one in like 4 hours, and then people started about 17 hours later. So I'd like to get that, couple days maybe, and maybe some different stations across the grid to interact with it. So we're still kind of going over plans with that, about halfway through with it.
So yeah, Justin, I totally know what you're saying there, and I'll probably tweak some of that stuff for Nocturnals. The problem is I didn't, contrary to what a lot of rumors are and people speculate and stuff, like when we put out a trait, it is, its rarity level is fixed, and we have never gone back and tweaked a rarity level of something after the fact because we thought, there's too many, or there's not enough. And so I realized that some things might be too common, and then that leads to the market filling up faster than what people would expect, and then devaluing that. And so we'll probably, for the Nocturnals, make some things not as common as they were with the original diurnals. I think intrinsically people want all new traits to be like really rare. on one hand. I mean, on the other hand, you get bummed out when you breed and breed and breed and you don't get anything cool because everything is made super rare. So, I always felt it was a balancing act. Yes, but I do think that we could tone down and make some things rarer than they were originally. But like I said, I'm not going to go back and change the existing rarity levels. I don't think that's right when you guys are building your breeding strategies and things like that on top of what's been done. Won't change anything about the past breeding. No, that's not true that only people with regard get the rarest things. Well, I've heard several people, they refer to that strategy of throwing stuff together called pit breeding, where you just put a bunch of random roos on a stump together and let them, pick their own mates and not that, and that can be effective. Well, there's the information about what's valuable and that sort of stuff. That's supposed to be, the community's job to come up with that. That was the idea of having fellowships to begin with. It was that you'd have a group of friends that you would, team up with and help each other out and share your tips with and that sort of thing. What other questions do we have? Feel free to ask something. If you ask something and it didn't get answered, feel free to ask it again. It's like kind of hard to follow everything and not miss stuff. No, I don't think we can increase the number of roos on a stump. There's a number of limiting factors there. The script memory there, we would have to add another script to every home, and
I'm working on getting it going.
I'm hesitant to do that. Plus, we already have issues where if you have long Meeroo names and lots of pairings, the hover text on the stump runs out trying to display all the pairings, and sometimes people get confused there because all the hover text gets cut off and they don't see possible pairings at the end. Someone's asking about the fellowships. No, I'm pretty sure I blogged about this a long time ago. You and your fellowship both will have a separate regard ranking for Orlex. And so just like on the website, how there's a top 10 ranking of fellowships and who has the most regard, there's going to be a separate ranking system for Orlex. So you'll still have your one fellowship. Your fellowship will have two rankings, just like, and you're going to have your HUD. And if your HUD's in Vishara mode, you'll see your Vishara regard. And when you click the button to switch your HUD over to Orlex, then you'll see your Orlex regard. So you won't have to like disband your fellowships and make new ones and that sort of thing. So then when you breed them, you're going to use, if you're breeding a nocturnal, you're going to use your Orlex regard. And that's what the hybrid's going to use, a combination of your regard. So, like I said, the HUD, it has like two modes. You'll see if you, like your existing Vishara HUD is going to look and work just like it is now, with whatever new tweaks we have for the update, and then there'll be a button on there and you'll click it and it'll turn into the Orlex HUD. And that. The hybrids are going to use a combination of the regard, and I'm not going to explain that exact formula.
There is Evalie about another preview. We are kind of playing around with the idea right now of giving another sneak peek in the Breeders' Connection cover next for June. But obviously, we don't want to put too many pictures of coats out there because we want, that's the excitement of discovering what's new.
The comment about the eyes just hasn't. That's still coming. That quite hasn't reached fruition yet. We sort of had one idea and we were about to do that, and then we came up with another thing that was going to even be like way cooler. So we said, well, we won't do this. It's going to take a little longer, but it'll be worth it. And you'll understand what that meant at some point in time.
China, you mean about the food sales? You mean when the pre-sales go out? Because I don't think people are having a problem getting on Rue now. Maybe during the birthday event.
Trust me, we all dream about a release just as much as you guys do.
It's definitely going to be sooner than later. I mean, if we give you a date now and we're off by a day, you guys are going to tar and feather us. But pretty soon we'll be able to give you a closer date.
But the good thing is you guys know when we do start talking that it will be imminent and it won't be one of these, oops, hold on, we got to go back, sort of thing.
Yeah, we want them perfect. We don't want them
every time we do say something. Every time we do say something, I realize it causes vast fluctuations in the market, and nobody likes that. Either sometimes I hear the markets go up, and sometimes I hear they're going down. With every blog post, and it's a little stressful actually. I don't think pre-orders will be on the marketplace because it's a special
No, but
script.
we got about 5 sims set up. We've already got it all settled. There'll be plenty of areas. We've even purchased a new sim to put pre-sales on, so there'll be plenty of room.
Plus, you have to realize, the point of the pre-sale is to give you guys a week or two. Okay, so it's not like everybody has to be there this in one day to buy their pre-orders. I'm sure, but we'll blog it. People will be talking about it in the groups. We'll send notices. Trust me, when the nocturnals are ready, we'll be singing it from the rooftops, and hopefully everyone in Second Life will know. As far as I know, we're just going to price them the same as the original set.
Yeah, no, there will be no lottery.
I don't know about that question for the peddlers. That's the first I've heard anybody ask for that.
I miss trying to keep up.
Something I could look at after Nocturnals. It's going to be a kind of a low priority because we already have so much other really neat and cool stuff that we want to be getting out. I don't think there's a plan to organize it differently.
No, I think it's
about getting rent. No, there won't. Somebody's asking about the hybrid breedings. I'm not sure exactly what your question is there. It's about a set number of traits. But our intention is that there will be certain traits that you're only going to get through hybrids. I believe there is at least one new trait slot, but some trait slots will be so expanded compared to what they were before, they might as well be a new trait slot. I'll put it like that. The legendary isn't this. A legendary means a Roo has what is classified as a legendary trait. It's not necessarily. It doesn't have to be a nocturnal to be legendary. There could be a legendary diurnal or a legendary nocturnal. this point, the legendaries being warriors that is just in lore. So people always say their Meeroos are too cute to actually fight or something, but some people do request that, like some kind of fighting game or something every now and then. So. Someone asked about considering mesh in Meeroos. Not at this point in time. What you can do with mesh compared to sculpts is just too limiting.
Plus, believe it or not, a lot of people can't view it still.
Yeah, that's true too. Is not everybody can view it yet, but if it
I've
gets
had
to
a
the
lot of
point
people
where
say,
you
like, I
have
can't see your avatar.
But if Lyndon's doing updates to the scripting language, that you have as much control or more with modifying meshes and animating meshes and that sort of thing, then we'll consider using mesh. Yes, we had that question about the avatars earlier. These are like prototypes Chim's been working on. Don't expect the real things out until after Nocturnals. The last pre-order, I think it was a week at least, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
I think we said.
I think it was 2
I
weeks.
think we promised a week, and it ended up being a week and a half or 2 weeks. Someone with better memory than me maybe can talk about it, but so you can definitely expect a minimum of 1 week. And when we announce it, we'll put on the blog post what the exact dates are then. But the raising of the regard, I can't say exactly. When at some point closer to releasing the Nox is when it'll happen. There's no reason to do it now. And upset how any of that stuff works. About the diurnal traits playing a part in the treating of nocturnals, well, that's what hybrids are about.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's hybrids.
Someone's asking about a chance to save their nest that are not for sale.
I think what they mean,
is.
I think what they're trying to say is that they have such a stack up of nest in their inventory, and we're actually kind of had a meeting about that, and a little talk, and I have a few ideas for that, but I can't make any promises.
All right. For right now, you still just pretty much have the option to release them. Someone's asking about members of the team working on another breedable. I certainly hope none of us are working on another breedable. We've got
that is
more...
a rumor.
We've got so much work for us on our own. I'm not sure how we could possibly reduce the prims, because they still need those prims and animations and stuff like the existing ones. Of course, you can always remember, you can pick up your Meepets and keep those in inventory. Someone was asking about the Meeroos digging up. The Meeroo digging up message. Yeah, that accidentally got left out during the last script update. And I don't know. It's one of those things we get people happy about the change and other people not happy about the change. And it's hard to say if we should put it back or not at this point. Someone's asking about the Me-Pets digging up standard treasure. The Me-Pets aren't supposed to be able to contribute to you gaining regard in any fashion. Well, you just have to put some free honey out for them when you res them back out and watch them eat a bunch. That bug Beverly's talking about with the not being able to coast next, as far as we can tell, that's an SL bug where your sim gets wonky and it's like only the owner can't res prims there. And I forget, I don't have the JIRA on hand for that, but it appears to be that it's trying to res out the piece it needs to birth the nest, and it's failing. So as far as I can tell, that's an LL bug we're waiting on them to fix. Surprised no one's asked about the region idling that went in grid-wide yesterday. The region idle thing actually went out on Blue Steel a week ago, and we never got any reports about anybody's roost starving on Blue Steel or missing breeding cycles on Blue Steel. So I'm not sure. We're like keeping a close eye on it. It's actually grid wide right now, so I think if nobody's roost were eating, we'd have known about it by now. I do have direct contact with Oscar Linden on the issue, so I'm supposed to, if we find this to be causing a problem, to let him know ASAP so Linden's can do something about it. One thing about our pets, I mean, I can't speak for any other breedables on the market, but ours have always had like a low power mode, and if your sim time dilation went up too high or no avatars were around, they already dropped down and like use the minimum resources and stuff like that. So presumably if your sim goes into this battle mode, they just drop into that low power mode that's been working fine for the last year anyways. Yes, the diurnals can pick up traits from nocturnals, and that's what's called hybrid breeding.
Right,
That's
it
what
goes
means
either way,
to be
nocturnals or
hybrid breeding.
diurnals.
We're not saying exactly which traits are going to go back and forth and which ones aren't and all that. We're not covering that on purpose because that's for you guys to discover when you get them.
Right, like I said, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, we want to go into more detail, but that's just, you know, again, a spoiler, and if we give out that information, you know, the game won't be as fun.
I really will not
Yes,
say hybrid anywhere
they're
on it.
legendary.
The only way to know something is a hybrid would be to use one of those genetic heritage charts and look and see for yourself.
I think we can, let me ask, I think we can touch base on that.
I'm not sure about putting an option on the home. That home script is like so totally out of memory. I've like crammed everything in there you could possibly cram in, and I'm not sure. Every new option adds just, you know, a few more bytes of memory, and then the script starts getting stack heap collisions. Someone asked a question about breeding the legendaries. They will breed from your diurnals or your new nocturnals you get at some point. I won't say how or why or any of that yet, but it's not like you're going to have to buy those or something. And it wouldn't. Those are going to be really rare things, so they're not going to come out of. You're not going to find them on starters. Somebody asked about adopting Moxie. No, we're not giving Moxie up.
Yes.
Or Chim.
Start the bidding now.
Or Ninetails. We claimed him too.
Right, yeah, somebody stole Ninetails. I want him back.
Well now renting her, that's a different story. Statue for Moxie. We'll put that on our list for flash sale ideas.
Are you saying I give away too much information? That's why they hide me away. Because like this whole time I'm going to keep typing to them in IMs. Can I give the answer? Can I give the answer? I never know when to shut up. I know that's why you all corner me. I know.
Well, looks like we're almost out of time here. If you got a last minute question, dash it off.
I know, I need some mesh wings, don't I? Points to Jimmy. I need mesh wings. Give me mesh wings, please.
So, someone's asking again about diurnals versus nocturnals. There's your diurnals that you have, you know and love. Okay, you pretty much everybody knows all the traits that those have now. Then there's going to be the nocturnals. The point of hybrids are going to be when you breed a diurnal with a nocturnal, And there are going to be some things that you can only get by such a hybrid breeding. So we felt if we didn't allow them to mix together, then that would like totally kill out the diurnal market, and everybody would just stop playing the diurnals and they would just start raising nocturnals. So the point of the hybrids then is to let them breed together, so you do have a reason to keep breeding your existing diurnals while we wait for the nocturnals to arrive. The journal is only a record of your accomplishments. Like, you're not getting special breeding because you've got it 100% full or versus 50% full or something like that. It's only for you to keep track of your progress. And there will be a vast update to that for the nocturnals, obviously, to display all the nocturnal traits coming out. To me, to ask one last question about the pay features.
I think
I
think we scratched that.
We had a meeting on that like 2 weeks ago, and I don't think we really came to a consensus one way or the other. You know, there's always pros and cons to every choice you pick in business, and it's like So again, you know, really try to spend our time meeting, talking about stuff that's going to get nocturnals done, and that out.
Like I said a few minutes ago, I have had a lot of you the last 4 days. I've really listened to what you guys have to say. I've written it all down. We've had a few meetings and everything. I have kind of an idea in my head. I'm not going to make any promises right now in the nest, but I do have something that I'm going to be working on. I can tell you, but definitely I'll let you know.
Right. So just to reiterate, we're not making any promises on the website cost or turning in nest, but these are things we think about and we talk about. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're trying to focus on getting nocturnals out, so you may not see resolution on those issues until after Nocs are out.
No. Nope, 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 nope.
A knock nest. I don't think we're doing sneak peeks
No,
on that
I'm
yet.
not. I thought about putting it in the display, and then I thought, nope. Not the Nox, and not the... There is a kind of a clue about the legendary nest, but you'll have to find it. Like I said, and there's a lot more stuff coming out. You know, keep an eye out for Meeroos pages that she's been dropping. A lot more stuff's coming over the next 2 weeks, and we're going to be putting out some sketches and stuff. We've got some big plans. Make this fun.
Mm-hmm. We definitely need more hunts coming up.
Oh yeah, I know, because we've been so busy with Nox that I've slacked a little bit on the games and stuff, but I've got about 3 in the works, and get all the details worked out, and I'll let you guys know. Justin,
your question on the new traits, I'm pretty sure I answered that as well, as much as I am going to answer it on a blog post in the past, obviously we have means to introduce new traits that weren't there in the beginning of time, but it's not like I push a button and this person gets this trait or something. It just once that's the information, once it's been created and the assets have been uploaded into the database, it just starts slowly slipping in new recessive genes in existing roos being born, but you guys still have to breed those genes out. Well, again, Justin, like I said, because that's tied into rarity levels and things not always being, just because something's new doesn't mean it's rare. Well, the rest of the pieces to that puzzle, Justin, I'm not revealing, so because it's too much tied into the genetics and how they work.
Sim hunts don't really work that well because not enough people can get on the Sims. It's bad enough if we put out a new paint set or. I mean, we had thought of even doing one at Easter, but just realized that it was just not going to work.
So to wrap up, I'd like to remind everybody, we are out here for Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society, and this whole breedable fair and event was put on. Oh, Neff's going to kill me. What's the name of their group, Moxie? I'm looking at their website and I don't see the name of the group, but the whole point of this is to support. Yes, Breeders Borough.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you. Is to support Relay for Life and American Cancer Society. So all our vendors out here all the proceeds totally go to Relay for Life, and we appreciate everybody coming out and supporting the charity. They're going to kill me. I forgot. I know. Well, I'm sorry. It doesn't say on their own. I'm looking at their WordPress site, and I can't see Breedersboro on there anywhere. So. Yeah, I'm going to get some flack for that, huh?
You're welcome.
So stick around, check out the rest of this. There's lots of other, cool pets out or coming out. Things are, really exciting for breedables in general, and things like that. Our team has always been of the opinion that there's enough there's enough room on Second Life for lots of breedables. There doesn't have to just be one, and everybody should have fun playing all the ones that they like.
Yeah, well, I was gonna, from the last couple of days too, I've heard a lot of you say that you'd wish that not just during these Relating for Life events or such that we come out here and do some Q&As. It was really fun through the birthday party and the first 3 or 4 days that we were here, and we'll definitely talk about maybe setting up a time every couple months so we can get out here and answer your questions as well.
Mm-hmm. Also, I have been out here at Relay for Life a couple, 2-4 hours every day, and I'll try to continue being out here. So if you didn't get your question answered and we missed it or something, feel free. Now, I usually just kind of like randomly get on when it fits in my schedule and just say something in group. I don't have like a fixed schedule or anything to tell you when to be here to find me or something, but just keep your eyes peeled in group or something if you want to track me down and for more questions.
Hunt him down.
Track me down, not hunt me down.